You're watching Inside Utah Politics.
We finish up our candidate profiles now with Arlyn Bradshaw. Arlyn, welcome to Inside Utah Politics. Great to have you on the show with us. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. So let's talk about the interest. Former Mayor McAdams goes to Washington. The seat opens up. You looked at it and said, I want to do that. Why?
Well, I've served on the county council since 2011, first elected in 2010. For 3 years prior to that, I was a policy advisor to the county council. I worked for then Chairman Joe Hatch when the Democrats were the majority on the county council. I'm kind of a county guy, and I'm a bit of a policy nerd, and have really appreciated learning about and being involved in all of the diverse services that the county provides. And I've always been focused on the council. I've not run for other office. That's kind of been my focus in my public service. So for me, having this opportunity to take my focus that I've had on the county from the council and take the next step into the mayor's office and really be able to set the agenda for the county is clearly very attractive. I also received a lot of encouragement to consider running for the position. When on election day, when it looked like Ben McAdams was going to be successful, a number of individuals started approaching me saying, hey, if Ben's going to be going to Congress, we need to have a really strong leader, a collaborative leader, someone with the experience to be the county mayor and the vision of where the county should go and can be. And in my time on the council, I've been a bridge builder. I've demonstrated collaborative governance, and that's what we need in the county mayor's office. And so that's why I felt that it was the right time for me to take this step.
We'll talk more about that in just a second, but first, sticking with the idea of you being on the county council, obviously one of your challengers, also a colleague of yours on the council, but how crucial is that to you in making that next step from the the council to the mayor, and how do you think that sets you apart?
Well, I think understanding all of the facets of county government is incredibly important if you're going to step into the role to be the CEO for the county. Not just the important relationships with the existing staff within the administration and with the other members of the county council that you need to pass things through in order to get anything done, but also that really deep level of understanding of what county government provides, which even a lot of our own residents of the county struggle to really understand the county. If you live in a city, which most of our residents do.
Am I in the county? Am I not in the county?
Yeah,
right.
Which all 1.2 million of the residents in the county are affected by the county government, even if their municipal services are delivered through their city.
Right.
And we can talk more about what those services are. But absolutely, the experience I bring to the role and my time on the county council, I feel is very crucial in terms of being able to be the most effective from day one as the next county mayor.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. What have we seen from you on the council that we would then see translate over to the mayor's office if you are successful? Well,
in a few areas. I've been the leader of my caucus, the minority leader for the Democrats on the county council. And that's important, but also having a good, strong relationship with the other caucus. So we are partisan at the county level of government. So while most of the issues we deal with seem nonpartisan in nature, we do have to go through the party process. But working with
do you think you guys do a good job of that on the county level, working together?
And what I was going to say is having the ability to work with the majority caucus on the council, and I feel I've got a very strong relationship with all of those individuals, is very important for the mayor to be able to execute on. I've also been my caucus's representative for the last 8 years to the legislature, working on issues that are priorities for Salt Lake County up on the Hill. And the legislative session starts just 2 days after the Democratic Central Committee chooses the next mayor. So we need someone with the right skill set to immediately be able to step in and advocate for the county on the Hill.
Let's talk more about your vision for the county. What's the most pressing issue right now facing the county?
Well, there are so many critical issues. So from a county budgetary perspective, we need to continue our efforts in criminal justice reform. But in terms of strong leadership that I think the county can provide, we really need to tackle issues of our air quality and affordable housing. Those are a few of my top priorities, and I think something that the county really needs to lead out on.
Let's take Olympia Hills, for example, when you talk about affordable housing. How would you have handled that situation?
Well, you know, if the county failed, it was in our ability to do outreach. And I do believe that the veto was appropriate, Mayor McAdams' veto of that project, because it became clear after the council's vote that the requisite amount of education and public outreach and public feedback had not occurred. And there are some great facets of that concept out there. A Utah State Extension campus that's going to focus on training for urban farming, land set aside for the development of elementary schools, the construction of elementary schools. And while what the county had done in that situation was we created a new type of zone that was a planned community zone that then allows, as each phase develops, additional public input of how those phases develop. And the upward density, though, within the new zone is what caused the alarm, and potentially rightly so. I mean, you don't want.
Isn't it going to take that, though, to be able to create more affordable housing in the valley?
But I think you have to explain where the more dense housing is going to occur,
right.
how,
so to your point of
how
more
transportation is supported, how the educational system will be able to accommodate that influx. So absolutely, I think ensuring that the proper dialogue is taking place, and also from the county mayor's office, we need to ensure that we are consistently doing strong outreach and working with the municipal leaders that are affected by decisions like that.
Yeah, they definitely spoke out in that situation.
And that's my commitment as mayor, is to work more closely with our city
Real
leaders.
quick, we're running out of time, about 30 seconds for this answer, but a big conversation about border security, what's happening down at the southern border. It does impact us here in Salt Lake County. What's your perspective on how we should move forward with border security?
Well, I'm very disappointed in the federal government and their inability to address this problem appropriately. We have a system that is built on compromise, and shutting down the federal government to get what you want, particularly from the presidency, is not what our founders envisioned. There's a lot of data that shows we are not in the biggest crisis we've ever faced on the southern border, and that's not to say that there aren't problems. And I think looking at what appropriate security measures are and what really effective solutions are to stopping the flow of drugs in particular that you referenced is what the focus needs to be on, and not trying to fulfill an empty campaign promise.
All right, we're going to have to end it on that note. So much more we could talk about, but we have run out of time. Again, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Inside Utah Politics right after the break.